The galactic maps ended there. Every chart, every stellar atlas across the coalition worlds showed the same thing. A thick, dark void stretching beyond the last known star systems, labeled only with one warning. Uncharted, hostile. Do not enter. The end of the galaxy. To most species, it was a dead zone. Ships went in and didn't come back. Probes went silent. Explorers vanished. The coalition had long decided. It was a natural border, the end of civilization. But to humans, it was home. Admiral Tren of the Voltari Confederacy stood aboard the bridge of his battlecruiser, gazing nervously at the edge of the void. His claws tapped against the railing as the crew awaited his command. "We've lost contact with the outpost at Vector 9, his second officer reported, voice shaky. Same pattern. No distress call. Just silence. "That's the third this cycle," Tren growled. "And always near that cursed human border." A junior officer whispered, "Should we inform the Coalition Council?" Tren narrowed his eyes. "No. This is our territory. The humans expanded too far. They need to be reminded where civilization ends." But Tren knew better. Everyone did. The humans had arrived in the galactic scene only 300 cycles ago, young, chaotic, and wildly unpredictable. But in those 3 centuries, they had colonized more systems than any known species. They thrived in harsh conditions, rebuilt faster after disasters, and fought like cornered beasts when challenged. The coalition had tried to keep them contained. Treaties, borders, and even minor skirmishes had been used to slow their spread. But somehow the humans always pushed farther. And now, their territory reached the black void beyond known space. The humans didn't call it the end of the galaxy. To them, it was just human space, a place filled with frontier stations, deep mining colonies, and rumor-shrouded military fleets. A few brave or foolish non-human captains had ventured inside, seeking trade, diplomacy, or secrets. Some returned. Most didn't. Those who survived told tales of strange ships without heat signatures, of entire planets that went dark when scanned, of ghost fleets moving silently through asteroid fields. And always the whisper, "They watch us." Meanwhile, on Outpost Juno, deep within human space, Captain Marla Reyes leaned over a tactical holomap. Her short-cropped hair gleamed in the red light of the command deck. "We've detected Voltari scouts again," her officer reported. "They're edging near the old border." Reyes smirked. "Let them come. Maybe they'll learn something this time." The outpost was built inside a hollowed-out moon, shielded, armed, and powered by dark matter reactors. Tech humanity had developed without ever sharing. Every corridor was lined with auto-turrets, drones, and silent defense networks. But its greatest weapon wasn't technology. It was fear. Human space had become a legend among aliens, a realm of shadows, firepower, and ghosts. Not because humans were evil, but because they were effective. They never responded to diplomatic probes, never answered hails from curious coalition vessels. And when intruders entered too deep, they disappeared. Not destroyed, not captured, erased. Reyes didn't like killing. She preferred to warn intruders, silently, with a glimpse of a cloaked ship or a sudden system shutdown. If they turned back, they were allowed to live. But if they didn't, well, she tapped a control and a 3D feed lit up. A Voltari cruiser had crossed the buffer zone. "Send a whisper drone," she ordered. No sound, just a signal, coordinates, and a single human phrase. The drone launched, cloaked and silent. Minutes later, the Voltari cruiser received the message. "Go back." Admiral Tren stared at the message. His crew trembled. "There's no signature," the comms officer said. "It came from nowhere." "It's a bluff," Tren barked. "We advance. Arm weapons. Scan the space ahead." They pushed forward. The stars seemed to vanish. The ship's scanners turned to static. And then, dozens of red markers lit up across their hull. The targeting systems of human stealth platforms. "Admiral," the weapons officer said, "we're surrounded." Tren clenched his jaw. This wasn't a war zone. There were no visible enemies. Just quiet, controlled menace. Then the lights flickered. Systems shut down. The ship went dead in space. A final message appeared on every screen. This is not the end. This is the beginning. You don't belong here. The ship powered back on. The targeting locks vanished. And human ships never appeared. Tren turned his vessel around, tail between his legs. Back in coalition space, the council gathered to debate the growing human problem. Ambassadors argued. Generals barked. Scholars speculated. One aged Valari scientist who had once visited Earth finally spoke. "You keep calling it the end," he rasped. "But for humans, it's not. You think they expand because they are greedy. But you misunderstand them. Then why?" A Lurvax senator demanded. "Why do they push beyond habitable zones? Why risk extinction on every frontier?" The old Valari smiled. "Because to them it's not risk, it's purpose. They're not afraid of the dark. They came from it, and they bring light where none exists. To them, the unknown isn't the end of the galaxy. It's just home." And so the maps began to change. One by one, stars on the edge of the void lit up, not as warnings, but as outposts, bases, colonies, and slowly across every coalition database the label changed. Uncharted, hostile, became human space, and below that, a single note: enter at your own risk.